She loved him until wealth twisted everything. Now she's caught between the life she dreamed of and the man she thought she knew. Money or heart? One choice could destroy her. Welcome back, my wonderful family and friends. If you're tuned in and ready to dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. Tomorrow, I'll be bringing you another exciting story you definitely don't want to miss. So, let's get started. The city was alive with its usual chaos. Horns blaring, pedestrians weaving through crowds, neon lights flickering like heartbeat pulses. Sophia Bennett navigated it all with a practiced ease, her leather satchel clutched tight, her heels clicking against the concrete like a metronome. She didn't notice the man watching her, until she almost collided with him at the corner cafe. "Watch where you're going," he said, his voice smooth but firm. Sophia looked up. He was impeccably dressed, a tailored suit, polished shoes, eyes the color of storm clouds. I'm sorry," she stammered, stepping back. "I meant it," he said again, softer this time, a small smile tugging at his lips. "I didn't expect to meet someone like you today." Sophia frowned, a mixture of curiosity and caution flaring. "Someone like me?" "Yes," he replied. "Someone who doesn't need the world to define her." She blinked, unsure what to say. There was something magnetic about him, a presence she couldn't quite ignore. And just like that, he was gone, disappearing into the crowd before she could even ask his name. Sophia shook her head, forcing herself to focus on her day. A big presentation at work, bills to pay, life to manage. This fleeting encounter didn't belong in her carefully ordered world. But it lingered. Later that night, Sophia sat in her small apartment, city lights casting jagged shadows through the blinds. She couldn't stop thinking about him. Who was he? Why did his gaze make her chest tighten? Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "I hope you haven't forgotten me." Her fingers froze. Her heart raced. Who was this? She didn't reply. And yet, something in her chest stirred. A pull she couldn't resist. The next morning, Sophia walked to work, attempting to ignore the butterflies still fluttering from the encounter. She passed the same corner cafe and he was there, the man in the storm gray suit. He saw her and tipped his head politely, a silent acknowledgement. Her mind screamed caution, but her body betrayed her curiosity. She stepped inside. "Coffee?" he asked, gesturing to the table by the window. She hesitated. "Yes," she finally said, sitting down. They talked. Not about business, not about work, about life, about small things, shared laughs, and moments that felt ordinary but electric. But just as she began to let herself enjoy it, a subtle tension crept in. He kept glancing at his watch, his eyes flicking to the door, a hint of unease. And then he leaned forward, lowering his voice. "There's something you should know, but I need to be sure you'll understand." Sophia's stomach clenched. "What is it?" He hesitated. His hand brushed hers ever so slightly. "I'm not who you think I am." Her heart skipped a beat. Before he could explain, a loud crash came from outside. The cafe door slammed open. Two suited men entered, scanning the room. Adrian, that was his name, she realized now. Tensed. "Stay here," he whispered, gripping her hand. Sophia's pulse raced. Danger? Secrets? Wealth? Everything she thought she knew about him was about to change. Who do you think Adrian really is? Why are these men after him? Comment your theories below and make sure to subscribe to Philia Heart. Sophia's story is just beginning, and things are about to get dangerous. Sophia's heart pounded in her chest like a warning drum. She clutched her coffee cup tighter than she realized, the porcelain trembling under her fingers. Adrian's grip on her hand was firm but reassuring, grounding her in the chaos that had suddenly erupted. The two men in suits scanned the cafe again, their eyes sharp, searching. One of them spoke into a small earpiece, low and urgent. Sophia couldn't hear the words, but she caught the tension in Adrian's jaw, the flicker of worry in his eyes. "You're not telling me everything," she whispered, leaning closer. Adrian shook his head, glancing toward the door. "I want to, but not here." Not now. Too many ears, too many eyes. I have responsibilities. Powerful people. Dangerous people. Sophia's brows furrowed. Responsibilities? Dangerous people? Adrian, I don't understand. Who are you? He looked at her. The storm-gray eyes she had fallen for now heavy with conflicted truth. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to drag you into my world. My world isn't safe. It's complicated. Wealth, power, enemies. I've made a lot of people angry just by existing. Her stomach twisted. So all those smiles, the kindness, were you playing me? No, he said sharply. Then he softened, the urgency pressing into his voice. Everything with you is real. The coffee, the conversations, the laughter, that's me. Not the billionaire. Not the empire. Just me. Sophia's eyes widened. Billionaire? Empire. He nodded, taking a deep breath. I'm Adrian Voss, one of the youngest billionaires in the country. My family controls industries you wouldn't even imagine. I wasn't ready to let anyone into this life, especially not someone I cared about. Her mouth went dry. Every detail suddenly clicked. The sudden wealth he casually hinted at, his luxurious car parked discreetly outside, the unspoken hints of privilege she had brushed off. I don't know what to say, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. You don't have to say anything, he replied. Just listen. I came here because I wanted to find someone real, not someone drawn to my money or my name. I found that in you. And now, I'm scared I've ruined it. Sophia stared at him, the weight of his words sinking in. Her heart wavered between disbelief, anger, and undeniable attraction. How could someone so rich, so untouchable, be this vulnerable? Before she could respond, the suited men approached the counter. One of them looked directly at Adrian, then at her. Mr. Voss, we need to speak with you. Now, the taller man said. Adrian's eyes met hers, a flicker of panic breaking through his calm facade. Stay here, he whispered, his voice tense. Sophia's pulse raced. Adrian, wait. What's going on? He hesitated. Then, for the first time, he let her see it, fear. Raw, unfiltered. You have to trust me. I'll be back. I promise. And before she could protest, he followed the men out, leaving her alone in the middle of the cafe. The chatter of customers faded into white noise, her mind spinning. She felt powerless, afraid, and yet, drawn to him in ways she didn't understand. An envelope slid across the table in front of her, seemingly out of nowhere. Sophia picked it up. Inside was a single card, black with embossed gold lettering. Choices have consequences. Are you ready to decide what you want, heart or safety? Her hand trembled as she stared at the card. The city outside the cafe felt colder, darker. The stakes had just gone higher. What do you think Adrian is hiding? And what will Sophia choose, love or security? Comment your predictions below, and don't forget to subscribe to Philia Heart. The next act is going to change everything. Sophia sat frozen at the cafe table long after Adrian disappeared with the suited men. The city outside buzzed with its usual rhythm, but for her, time had slowed. Every laugh, every honking car, every distant siren seemed muffled, like the world had receded, leaving only the envelope in her hand and the impossible weight of its message. Her mind raced. Heart or safety? Her heart screamed his name, but logic whispered caution. Adrian wasn't just a man who had walked into her life. He was a billionaire with enemies, a life filled with danger and intrigue she had never imagined. One wrong move and her ordinary world could spiral into chaos. For hours, she tried to convince herself it was a misunderstanding, a momentary lapse in judgment, that maybe Adrian wasn't the man he claimed to be. She needed answers, not risks. Back at her apartment, Sophia paced. Every corner of the modest space reminded her of simplicity, of the life she had built without expectation, without pretense. And now it felt fragile, vulnerable, ready to crumble under the weight of Adrian's world. Her phone buzzed incessantly. Texts, emails, missed calls, all from numbers she didn't recognize. She ignored them, Some instinct told her they were linked to Adrian's sudden departure. Fear coiled tight in her stomach. She poured herself a glass of wine, hoping to calm her racing thoughts, but the bitterness only mirrored her confusion. She had trusted him. She had laughed at his jokes, let her guard down, even shared little pieces of her life with him. And now, she felt exposed, uncertain if she could ever trust him again. Just as she set the glass down, a sharp knock at the door startled her. Heart hammering, Sophia hesitated, peering through the peephole. A man in a tailored suit stood outside, face unreadable, holding a briefcase. "Sophia Parker?" he asked, voice calm but firm. She swallowed hard. "Yes. Who are you?" "My name is Marcus. I work with Mr. Voss. He asked me to deliver this directly to you." He handed her the briefcase and nodded once. Without waiting for a response, he turned and left. Sophia's hands shook as she opened it. Inside, carefully arranged documents detailed Adrian's empire, his companies, his investments, even his personal security measures. But what caught her attention was a single folder, marked in red, personal. Inside, there were photographs, intimate moments Adrian had captured, not of her, but of his life behind the scenes. Boardroom meetings, late-night security checks, even evidence of threats he had faced. Her stomach churned. She realized the depth of the world Adrian had been hiding from her, a world she had unknowingly stepped into. And yet, beneath the fear, something else stirred. Fascination, empathy, and undeniable attraction. She knew that despite the danger, she wanted to understand him, to know the real Adrian Voss, even if it risked everything she had. Sophia paced her apartment, documents spread around her. She wrestled with herself. Trust him and step into a world I barely understand? Walk away and preserve my safety, my life as I know it? Her phone buzzed again. Another message from an unknown number. Choices have consequences. Decide carefully. She froze. Adrian, or someone else entirely. The fear was real, the stakes high, yet she couldn't deny the pull she felt toward him. Her heart, though hesitant, yearned for the connection they had shared. Sophia's mind was made up. She needed answers. But would seeking them bring her closer to love or push her into danger? As night fell, a shadow slipped through the window of her apartment. Someone had entered unnoticed. Sophia froze, every instinct screaming. The documents, the envelope, and the briefcase lay untouched on the floor. A whisper came from the dark. "You shouldn't have opened that." Sophia's eyes widened in terror. "What do you think? Is it Adrian's enemy? Or someone from his past trying to protect him?" Comment below your theories and subscribe to Philia Heart. The shadow in Sophia's apartment disappeared as quickly as it appeared, leaving only the echo of a whisper and her pounding heartbeat. She sank to the floor, clutching the briefcase, unsure whether to call the police or wait for daylight. Every instinct told her she wasn't safe, but one thought haunted her more than fear. Adrian. Adrian. Was he in danger? Was this connected to him? Could she even reach him before it was too late? The next morning, Sophia received a call from an unknown number. Hesitant, she answered. "Sophia Parker," a calm voice said, unmistakable yet distant. "Who is this?" she demanded, gripping her phone as if it could protect her. "It's me, Adrian. Listen, I know you found the documents. I need you to come with me. Now, there's no time to explain over the phone." Her pulse spiked. "Where? Why?" "Safe house. You'll understand everything there." Sophia hesitated, fear and anger warring in her chest. But the whisper of curiosity, the pull toward the man she had begun to care for, was stronger. She packed a small bag, documents still clutched under her arm, and followed the GPS coordinates Adrian texted her. The location was secluded, nestled in a quiet forested area just outside the city. A sleek black SUV waited, and Adrian stepped out, his eyes sharp yet pleading. "Sophia," he said softly, "you did the right thing coming here, but I need you to trust me completely." She opened her mouth to protest, but a low hum of engines alerted them. Several men in dark suits approached, unannounced and too fast. Adrian's gaze hardened. "We don't have time," he muttered, pulling Sophia behind the SUV. "They've been tracking us." In moments, they were inside the vehicle, speeding down a winding road with trees blurring past, and Sophia clutched the seat as adrenaline surged through her. "You didn't tell me this world existed," she said, voice trembling. "All of this, it's insane." Adrian's jaw tightened. "I wanted to protect you. Every moment we've shared. I've wanted it to be real, not tainted by the chaos of my life. But now that's impossible." Sophia swallowed hard. "And you didn't think I could handle it?" "I didn't know if anyone could," he admitted. "But you came anyway. That tells me you're stronger than I imagined." The tension in the car was palpable, but the closeness, the forced proximity of fear and reliance, brought a new layer to their connection. Every brush of their hands, every glance, every shared breath intensified feelings neither could deny. Hours later, after evading surveillance and entering the heavily secured safe house, Adrian finally allowed Sophia to breathe. The safe house was elegant yet discreet, filled with personal touches. Photographs of Adrian with family, books stacked neatly, and a soft couch that invited comfort. Sophia finally allowed herself to exhale, though the fear lingered. Adrian watched her carefully, sensing her struggle. "You've had no control over any of this," he said quietly. "Yet here you are, stepping into my world. That means more than you know." Sophia turned toward him, heart hammering. "I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I can trust it, or you." He stepped closer, voice low, intense. "Then let's not rush it. Let's start with this. Being here, together, surviving tonight. After that, we'll decide what trust really means." Her chest tightened. Fear, attraction, and curiosity collided in one explosive moment. And as they shared the small, intimate space of the safe house, neither could deny the growing emotional bond. Just as Sophia started to feel a fragile sense of security, the safe house alarm blared. Red lights flashed. Adrian's face went pale. "They've found us again." From the shadows outside the reinforced windows, a familiar silhouette appeared, and it wasn't someone either of them expected. "Welcome back, Mr. Voss," a voice echoed coldly. "Did you really think you could hide?" Sophia's hands flew to her mouth. Her heart pounded. This was no longer just about love. It was life or death. Who do you think found them? An enemy? A betrayer? Or someone from Adrian's past? Comment below your theories and subscribe to Philia Heart. The safe house shook from the distant echo of engines outside. Sophia pressed herself against the wall, adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Adrian stood beside her, eyes scanning every shadow, muscles tense, his usually composed demeanor now fractured by fear. "I need to show you something," Adrian said finally, his voice low and urgent. "Something you weren't meant to see yet. But you need the full truth, Sophia." She nodded, heart still racing. "I want the truth. No lies. No half-truths." He led her down a narrow corridor into a private study. Walls lined with books and framed photographs, shelves full of confidential files. In the center of the room sat a large mahogany desk, atop which lay a single, open folder. "This is why everything changed," Adrian began. He handed her a set of photographs. Sophia froze. They were images of him as a younger man, smiling with familiar faces. But some of the faces were of people she recognized, powerful executives, rival business moguls, and a few that sent chills down her spine. Men she knew had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. "Adrian, what is this?" she whispered, her fingers trembling. "I inherited this world," he admitted, voice heavy. "Not just wealth, but enemies. I didn't just stumble into it. I was born into it. And some of these people, they want everything I have, including anyone close to me." Sophia's chest tightened. "You didn't tell me because you were protecting me?" He nodded, eyes softening. "Exactly. And because I didn't know if I could trust anyone with this part of my life, especially someone as precious to me as you. But hiding it almost cost us everything." She swallowed hard, realizing the depth of danger she had unknowingly stepped into. Her mind flashed to the intruder from Act 4, the one who had broken into the safe house. Suddenly, everything made sense. "I should have walked away," she muttered, tears threatening. "I should have run the moment I realized." "No," Adrian interrupted firmly. "You came here anyway, and that's why we can survive this. Because now you understand not just me, but the world we're fighting to protect. You're stronger than anyone I've ever met." Sophia looked at him, torn between fear and something deeper. A growing admiration, a fragile love that refused to break despite the chaos surrounding them. Adrian moved closer, his hand brushing hers. "I want you to see everything, the risks, the danger, and yes, the wealth. But I want it to be real. I want it to be us." Sophia's eyes softened, but doubt lingered. "And what if I can't handle it? What if I fail?" "You won't fail," he said, holding her gaze. "We'll face it together. But you need to decide. Do you want to be part of this life? Not just the glamorous side, but the dangerous, unpredictable reality too." Her stomach knotted. Love and fear tangled in her chest. The choice was now hers. A choice between heart and caution, between trust and self-preservation. Just as she opened her mouth to speak, the study door slammed shut with a deafening crash. Lights flickered, and the hum of a secondary security alarm echoed through the house. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall, imposing. Someone Sophia hadn't expected. "You shouldn't be here, Parker," the voice hissed. Sophia froze. Adrian stepped in front of her, fists clenched. But the intruder's identity made them both pause. "It's too late for decisions now," the figure said. "Your choices have consequences, and I intend to make sure you pay for them." Sophia's heart raced. Every instinct screamed danger. She turned to Adrian, who whispered urgently, "Stay close. Whatever happens, don't leave my side." An enemy? A traitor? Or someone from Adrian's past? Comment below your guesses and subscribe to Philia Heart. The intruder had vanished as suddenly as he appeared, leaving a heavy silence hanging over the study. Sophia's hands were still trembling, but now her chest felt slightly lighter. Adrian sat beside her, not touching yet, just offering the calm presence she needed. "You scared me," she admitted softly, voice barely above a whisper. I didn't know I could feel this kind of fear and safety at the same time." Adrian gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. "That's the point. Life's dangerous, but when we trust someone, it becomes worth it." Sophia's gaze fell to the photographs spread across the desk. The images that had terrified her hours ago now felt like pieces of a puzzle, a story she was beginning to understand. She reached out, touching one photo gently. "You've lived a life I never even imagined. And yet, you've always been trying to protect me from it." Adrian finally took her hand, warm and steady. "Because you're worth protecting, Sophia. Because I've never wanted anyone in my life as much as I want you." Her breath caught. The words were simple, but they carried weight, lifting the tension that had been suffocating her for days. For the first time, she allowed herself to lean closer. The evening unfolded slowly, almost deliberately. They shared stories from their childhoods, the struggles that had shaped them, the moments that had taught them resilience. Sophia laughed softly at Adrian's dry sense of humor, and he was mesmerized by the way her eyes lit up with each story. "I never thought I'd meet someone who sees through the layers," Adrian said, voice low. "Someone who doesn't judge, who understands the person beneath the wealth and fear." Sophia's smile softened. "I didn't either. And yet here we are. You and me, against a world neither of us fully controls." There was a pause, a moment heavy with possibility. Their hands intertwined naturally, the connection palpable. Neither wanted to let go, and yet both were acutely aware that the dangers outside these walls were real. Adrian stood, taking Sophia's hands in his. "I can't promise that the world outside won't try to tear us apart, but I can promise that I will fight to keep you safe, and that I will never stop trying to earn your trust and love." Sophia's heart ached with both longing and hesitation. She wanted to throw herself into his arms, to believe fully in the love blooming between them, but the shadows of his world, and the choices she'd have to make loomed heavily over her. "I want to trust you," she whispered. "I really do. But I'm afraid." Adrian leaned closer, pressing his forehead against hers. "Fear is natural, but love is worth it. And I'm not going anywhere." Just as Sophia felt a flicker of hope, the room's security monitors flickered violently, bathing the study in red warning lights. Adrian's phone buzzed incessantly. He grabbed it and read quickly, his face darkening. "They found another target, and it's closer than we thought," he muttered. Sophia's stomach dropped. "Another target?" Adrian's hand gripped hers tightly. "This isn't over, Sophia. Not by a long shot. We've bonded, yes, but the world we're in, it's about to test us like never before." What danger awaits Sophia and Adrian next? Will their growing bond survive the threats closing in? Comment your predictions and subscribe to Philia Heart. The alarms didn't stop. Red lights flashed, echoing against the marble walls of Adrian's penthouse. Sophia clutched the edge of the desk, her heart racing. Every instinct screamed danger. Adrian's face was grim, tense, and unlike the calm, controlled man she had come to trust. He barked instructions into his phone, but his gaze never left Sophia's. "Stay here. Don't move. I'll handle this." She wanted to protest, wanted to insist on helping, but a sharp warning glance silenced her. She felt trapped, caught between fear and the lingering warmth of trust. Then the door burst open. Masked intruders stormed in, demanding access to Adrian's private safe. Sophia froze, watching as the man she trusted, the man whose life had become intertwined with hers, faced danger head-on. One intruder lunged toward Adrian. He moved with lightning speed, but in the chaos, Sophia saw something she couldn't unsee. Adrian being struck hard across the shoulder, staggering slightly, blood staining his crisp white shirt. "Adrian!" she screamed. He turned toward her, eyes blazing with both anger and fear. "Stay back, Sophia. Don't." But Sophia ignored him. Her legs moved on their own, propelled by panic and love. She tried to pull him toward safety, only for another masked figure to shove her against the wall. Pain shot through her shoulder, but she refused to let go. "Get away from her!" Adrian roared, diving into the intruder with a precision that only years of experience could produce. The fight was brutal and fast. Sophia could barely follow the flurry of motion, the shouts, the crashing of furniture. Finally, silence fell. The intruders had fled, leaving the room in disarray. Shattered glass, upturned chairs, a lingering sense of dread. Adrian collapsed to his knees beside Sophia. "Are you hurt?" His voice shook with uncharacteristic vulnerability. "I'm fine," she whispered, though bruises were already forming along her arm. Her eyes searched his face. "Why didn't you tell me the full extent of the danger?" He looked away, jaw tight. "I wanted to protect you. I thought I could handle it all without dragging you into it. But you're not just anyone, Sophia. You're more than I ever expected." Her stomach twisted. She had loved him, trusted him, but now doubt crept in. Could she really survive this life? Could she handle love wrapped in danger, wealth, and secrets? Maybe we're too different," she said, voice trembling. "Maybe I can't live in your world." Adrian's eyes burned. "Sophia, I don't want a life without you. But I can't lie, my world isn't easy. You have to choose love or safety, money or heart. I can't protect you from everything, but I will fight for us. If you want me to." The words hit her like a wave. Her heart wanted to leap into his arms, but fear anchored her in place. She looked around the wrecked room, the aftermath of violence and betrayal, and felt the weight of the impossible choice before her. A sudden buzz from Adrian's security system made them both jump. The screen flashed a new alert. "Sophia Harris, unauthorized access attempt detected." Her phone rang at the same time. She picked it up, heart pounding. A distorted, metallic voice whispered, "You think this was over? It's just beginning. Choose wisely, or lose everything." Sophia's hand shook as she stared at Adrian. What do we do?" Adrian's face was pale but determined. We survive, and then we fight back. Together. But you have to decide if this is a life you want. The weight of the moment pressed down on them both. Love had bloomed, trust had deepened, but the world outside was ruthless, and now the stakes were higher than ever. What will Sophia choose? Love or safety? Can their bond survive the threats closing in? Comment your theories below and subscribe to Philia Heart. ACT8 will bring choices that change everything. The city lights spilled through the broken windows, flickering against the shards of glass on the floor. Sophia sat on the edge of the ruined sofa, her hands wrapped around her trembling knees. Her phone buzzed incessantly. Texts, calls, emails, but she ignored them all. Every alert felt like a reminder of the impossible decision looming over her. Adrian stood by the window, his silhouette rigid, jaw clenched. He didn't press her, didn't speak. He simply waited, giving her the space to decide. But the tension between them was electric. Sophia's mind raced. Every memory of him pulled her heart forward. His warmth, his protective presence, the rare moments of genuine vulnerability. But the danger, the constant threat, it was suffocating. Could she truly survive this life? Could she accept love wrapped in fear and uncertainty? Her eyes landed on the shattered vase beside her, petals strewn across the floor like fallen promises. That vase had been a gift from her grandmother, a symbol of family and safety. She clutched a broken piece in her hand, feeling the jagged edge cut her palm. Pain and clarity mingled in equal measure. Adrian's voice broke the silence. Sophia, you don't have to decide out of fear. I don't want you here because it's convenient. I want you here because you choose me, because your heart chooses this, not because it feels like a trap. Her chest tightened. She wanted to speak, to pour out her fear, her love, her doubts. But the words got stuck in her throat. Instead, she took a deep breath and stood, trembling but determined. She moved toward him, each step heavy with uncertainty. Adrian, I'm scared, she whispered, her voice cracking. I don't know if I can handle all of this, the money, the danger, the enemies. He reached for her hand, gentle but firm. You don't have to handle it alone. We handle it together. Every step, every threat, every obstacle, we face it side by side. That's what I'm asking. Tears welled in her eyes as she stared at him. The weight of the decision pressed down on her, but beneath it, a spark of courage ignited. She thought of every smile, every late-night conversation, every moment he had made her feel alive and cherished. I choose us, she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. I choose love, even if it's messy, even if it's dangerous. I choose you. Adrian's eyes softened, and relief washed over his face. He pulled her into his arms, holding her tightly, as if he could shield her from the world itself. For a moment, the chaos faded. Broken glass, alarms, threats. All of it melted into the background as they clung to each other. But just as they drew a shaky breath, the room's lights flickered, and a soft ping echoed from Adrian's security console. A message flashed on the screen. This isn't over. They're coming back. Prepare. Adrian's grip tightened around her. I promised we'd face it together, he said. And we will. But Sophia, it's going to get harder before it gets better. Sophia nodded, resting her head against his chest. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but in this moment, she had chosen love, and that choice gave her strength she never knew she possessed. A shadow moved at the penthouse door. Another masked figure? Or someone more familiar? Sophia, behind you. She spun around and the screen cut to black. Would you choose love or safety if you were in Sophia's shoes? Comment your choice below. The penthouse was alive with tension, shadows stretching across the walls like ghosts of the past. Sophia's heart pounded in her chest, but this time, it wasn't fear. It was determination. She had chosen love, chosen Adrian, and now she refused to let anyone tear it apart. Adrian moved silently beside her, his hand firm on her lower back, guiding her as they approached the source of the disturbance. The masked intruders had entered the room, their movements precise, professional. But they hadn't anticipated one thing: Sophia's resolve. "You won't intimidate us," she said, her voice steady, echoing through the high-ceilinged space. "Not him. Not me." Adrian's eyes softened, pride and love shimmering in their depths. "That's my girl," he murmured, and together, they stepped forward. The intruders froze, clearly caught off guard by the unshakable courage radiating from Sophia. One of them lunged, but Adrian intercepted with controlled precision. The struggle was brief but intense, the tension snapping like lightning through the room. Sophia grabbed a heavy vase, ready to defend herself if needed. Heart racing, she realized something. She was no longer helpless. She was strong. She was in this life with him, fully unafraid. Finally, the intruders realized their fight was futile. One whispered into a radio, another grabbed a bag of evidence, and within moments they were gone. The penthouse was silent again, but the adrenaline kept Sophia and Adrian tethered to each other. Adrian pulled her into his arms, forehead resting against hers. "You did amazing," he said softly. "You were incredible." Tears blurred Sophia's vision. "I was scared," she admitted. "But I chose you. I chose love. And I won't regret it." He cupped her face, thumbs brushing away stray tears. "Love, real love, is never easy, but it's worth everything." Outside, the city hummed with life, indifferent to the drama inside the penthouse. But inside, time had slowed. The world of wealth, danger, and secrets had tested them, but it hadn't broken them. Sophia laughed softly, a sound of relief and triumph. "So, we survived, huh?" Adrian grinned, pulling her close. "We survived, and now we build our life together. No walls, no secrets, just us." They stood there, holding each other as dawn crept into the skyline. The light reflected off the glass, scattering rainbows across the floor, a symbol of new beginnings. For the first time in months, Sophia felt whole. The choice between money and heart had been made, and her heart had led her to love, courage, and partnership she never imagined possible. The storm was over. The love that had been tested by fear, deceit, and danger had emerged stronger. And together, Adrian and Sophia stepped into a future where wealth didn't define them. Love did. As they held each other, Adrian's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, eyes narrowing. "Sophia, it seems the world isn't done testing us yet." She laughed softly, shaking her head. "Then we'll face it. Together." The camera pans out of the penthouse, the city skyline glowing. The music swells, leaving the audience with hope, excitement, and lingering anticipation. Would you risk everything for love? Comment below what you would do in Sophia's shoes. Don't forget to subscribe to Philia Heart for more billionaire love stories that will keep your heart racing.